everyone, welcome back to the fifth dimension. Or should I say, did you ever truly leave the fifth dimension? That's right, every Friday here, live on Twitch, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we go into the depths of lore, theories, future character stories, and most importantly, hype when it comes to various video games. And very recently we had the explosion, the straight up explosion of a game that is coming very soon, hopefully, called Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, in which it will focus on the story of young Xehanort, his time with his partner in crime, young Eraqus, and new companions that we didn't know about up until this week, in his time in Scala Ad Caelum, aspiring to be what should be known as the greatest Keyblade wielder, the greatest Keyblade master that we have seen and possibly have known. So, let's get right into the noise. What is Kingdom Hearts Dark Road? Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is I would say, a sister game to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross that deals with the rise and supposed fall of young Xehanort and why he decided to take the Dark Road. Super recently, we had a blowout of information when it comes to his companions, because I called it. There's 6 people in total. 6 people in total. That's the power of the fifth dimension, boys. 6 people in total, and that the multiple chairs in the classroom signified at multiple classmates and multiple students. And this broke a rule of, Kingdom Hearts, where they would usually be grouped up in trios, but now it's Xehanort, Eraqus, and their companions. They are, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in Norse. They are Ermad, Bragi, and Erd. And those names, as weird as you might take them, are actually based on Norse mythology, which we shall discuss tonight live. But as we know, the fifth dimension requires fuel. It's time for the fuel of the fifth dimension. And today's fuel of the fifth dimension is the blue moon. The moon that is blue. Let's get this noise. Yay, lore and theory time. I know you guys are ready for this. And man, if you guys were here on a previous Kingdom Hearts centric episode in which we talked specifically on VaramRex, we were talking straight up for 2 hours straight. 2 hours straight on VaramRex and the possibility of the characters and story going into the future of Kingdom Hearts. Man, look at that head. Look at that head. That's a bad head. That's good head. But yeah. Where do we begin? I'm gonna let that settle. Where do we even begin when it comes to Kingdom Hearts Dark Road? I'm super excited for the game. I love Xehanort as a character, and to see his origins, which is something that I felt was like overall missing from Kingdom Hearts. I mean, we knew a couple of things. We knew that young Xehanort came from Destiny Islands. All right, there were people that are weirded out and just they're flabbergasted, like, is that Destiny Islands? Well, like, if you pay attention to the overall lore of Kingdom Hearts and everything like that, we knew, like, that's the kind of contrast that sets them along with and apart from Sora, is that they both came from Destiny Islands. Xehanort comes from Destiny Islands, right? We knew he came from Destiny Islands. He wanted to go out into the world, seek new worlds, because, this world is just too small. So then eventually he would come to know his master, which we still don't know who the master of Eraqus, Xehanort, and the rest of these fools. And he would go on to become the greatest Keyblade master that we've known, And he had a whole, like, I would say, definitely friendly rivalry and friendship with Eraqus, in which Eraqus turns out from Kingdom Hearts 3 that Eraqus is a blue blood that is descended from, like, the first generation of Keyblade wielders from the time of Union Cross, which really puts into perspective that a lot of us, myself included, believe that Eraqus is descended from Brain, right? Because they have the same features, they look the same, they have the same type of hair, the same color eyes, everything, right? So it would make sense, and with Brain being the virus, but that's only part of the mystery, right? And then, Xehanort will go on to become a seeker of darkness, a seeker of the world. He wants to go out and explore the world rather than being a master and stay behind and protect the world. The world of the worlds, which Eraqus eventually end up doing, right? And it was always that, I would say, duality between Eraqus and Xehanort that we always seen. But at the end of the day, the Land of Departure had 3 thrones, right? And then a lot of people went out and theorized that, the third throne either existed to the staple female of a group when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts trios, or that of Yen Sid. And Yen Sid, turns out he is not one of the original companions of Eraqus and Xehanort, because if you guys remember correctly, in Birth by Sleep, he did say, like, once upon a time when I was younger, I did study the ways of the Keyblade alongside Eraqus and Xehanort. That doesn't really put them in the same class or classroom. I believe that Yen Sid did study the Keyblade, became a Keyblade master at Scala Ad Caelum, just like Xehanort and Eraqus, but he was in a different class. He was in a different room. He had different students, like he had different companions and whatnot. And then that's what, gave their histories together and whatnot. So a lot of people were surprised that none of these guys were Yen Sid, and they said that these characters are new characters. So it's not like, oh, one of these guys are Yen Sid in disguise. A lot of people try to put together that Hermod. Out of all the characters, Hermod would definitely be the one that kind of looks like Yen Sid, if Yen Sid had to look like anybody here. But Yen Sid has like beady little eyes and whatnot. And I just believe that he's in another classroom. And that's all there is to it. And during their times off, Eraqus and Xehanort would go on and play chess, as we've seen in Kingdom Hearts 3. And, that's a big thing. And apparently it's going to be a huge thing in Dark Road. But, man, oh man. Let us begin. The first thing I have to point out is that a lot of people are already saying Broggy, Braig, Brain, like the same person, just because, they have either a swapped letter or one letter in between them. That does not fly when it comes to naming conventions. Sure, it does for nobodies, but not really for any person that is not a nobody, because Broggy is already an existing character in Norse mythology. So let's dive right into the noise when it comes to these new characters, about their names and how they relate to Norse mythology and how that can relate to Kingdom Hearts, because man, oh man, do we have an episode for you. So Broggy is the Norse mythology, the Norse god of poetry. The etymology says that Broggy probably stems from the masculine term that is bragr or brag or anything like that. When translated from Old Norse, it means poetry, poem, melody, wise. And he's the first or noblest Norse god when it comes to, his naming conventions. It could also mean king and all that good jazz. The connection is also suggested with the Old Norse of bragr full, a cup drunk in solemn occasions taken by with the taking of vows. Right, like he takes a vow, but it's like the drunk of the town. That has something else to do with it. But after describing Odin, Thor, and Balder, Broggy is named when reading. Man, Norse words are just really, really crazy. Gylfaginnin. Anyways, Broggy is known to have a harp, and he's known to tell stories, and I would say he is the person that would compile lore and then tell tales, kind of like a bard, like he is a poet, but he's also kind of a bard, where he would tell tales, and those tales would be exchanged through the conversations of man that whoever he would be listening to. And that actually does go along with Braig. So that's the scary thing, because Braig had to keep track of everything that he's seen with the Keyblade as the Gazing Eye. The Gazing Eye had to keep track of everything that the Gazing Eye saw, and then Braig had to keep track of that. But he was not known as Braig, he was known as Lushu. And Lushu eventually became and took over the person Braig, which led to the word of Xigbar. But Broggy, was a name that existed long before that of Braig itself, because Braig was a person that existed during the time of Birth by Sleep. However, there is the two and two that we have to put together. That Lushu had to take account everything that the Keyblade saw in order to make sure that it came to fruition for the Book of Prophecies. And the Book of Prophecies is the proof of his success, but he still had to do it, right? Lushu had to make sure that he saw everything the Keyblade saw, to make, either from a distance or from a close view, that he had to make sure the Keyblade just kept going and going and going, and make sure that it got passed down. So he always had to be in the vicinity of the Gazing Eye, the no-name Keyblade, which means that he probably was planted somewhere, probably the janitor of Scala Ad Caelum, right? So he was probably planted there and he saw everything, and he probably knew who Broggy was, right? So here is the theory, the first huge theory within the 5th dimension of Broggy's name and break. You know, Broggy obviously was a companion of Xehanort, right? And Luxu had to have known that and known who Broggy is. Broggy probably is long gone, or long somewhere, dead, or whatever otherwise, right? So imagine this. Luxu, in order to make sure that he gets buddy-buddy with Xehanort, he had to introduce himself as someone. The person that he took over may have not had the name Braig. He created the name Braig. And Braig sounds like Broggy. It's only 2 letters off. Like, you know, what do you call it? B-R-A-G-I. For Braig, it's B-R-A-I-G. So he had to create that air of familiarity for Xehanort in order to get on his good side. Because he knew that Xehanort had a companion whose name sounded like his. So he had to make sure that Xehanort had like that. He's like, what's your name? Braig. And then Xehanort just had like the Ratatouille sequence. It's like, Braig? That reminds me of my friend Broggy. Man, I miss him. Wow. Alright, Braig. Alright, Braig, you are right. You are right. Let's get it, right? And Braig went on to be the most trusted advisor of Xehanort into the Keyblade War. And that's probably what went down. That's a thing. That happens. So yeah, renamed a person from an old friend that Xehanort had. That's the power of the 5th dimension, boys. I told you, the 5th dimension is real. Alright? So that's probably what happened. And then that will probably that puts their 2 names at a crossroads. Because Braig and Broggy can definitely be seen as name iterations of the god Broggy, which is the poet, which is the one who tells stories, who records stories. So that kind of puts them both at the standpoint like, oh, Broggy could be a one, because we still don't know who Broggy is or what Broggy does, right? And Broggy could be the one who's like, oh, I'm the one recording all the stories, telling all the tales. Hey, Xehanort, have I told you the story about the Keyblade War? Yeah, man, the Masters tell it all the time. Hey, let me tell you again. All right. Hey, let me tell you a story that you probably didn't know. What's that? The Lost Masters. The what? So Broggy probably was that person, right? And that goes in line with the naming convention. And Braig, being Luxu, recording the stories, making sure that the history is recorded for the Book of Prophecies through the Gazing Eye, goes in line with the name of Braig. That's the power of the 5th dimension, boys. So when people say that, you know, because of the name convention, I feel there's similarities, but I do not think that Broggy and Braig, Luxu, or Brain are the same person. I feel that the name is derived for the reasoning of their characters. So that's Broggy. And man, all right, I want this one thing I want you to see in the chat. When it comes to these 4 characters, who are your team? Team Broggy, Team Erd, Team Ermad, or Team Veor? Like, which team are you on when it comes to like these people? Because man, oh man, like I'm gonna tell you right now, Ermad and Veor, they look like the nicest ones, but man, Erd and Broggy, you know, they Erd and Broggy look dastardly, but Ermad Ermad and Veor look like they're nice. And you know, it's funny when I'm looking at Broggy, he looks like the type of person that would go behind the master's back and look for books and find stuff about the lost masters and then tell it to Xehanort. He looks like the type of person that's like, yo, Xehanort, did I tell you about this story? Yo, check this out. Lost masters, bro. And then Xehanort's like, what? I never heard about that. And then he's like, yeah, man. The master, right? He has this book under his bed. And yo, I just took it while he's sleeping. Lost masters, bro. That's a thing. He looks like the type. Man. Jeez. Oh my god. So, now that we talked about Broggy, man, we just went in on Broggy. Let's talk about Erd. Now, Erd is a big deal. Now, here's a huge thing. And we really gonna go into the 5th dimension, boys. Alright? Because I made, the first video I made about this is that I likened, Broggy's eyes to Xehanort's golden eyes that he gets later on. He goes from silver to gold, right? But a lot of people point out that his eyes look more oranges than gold. And the reason why I point out as they could look gold to me is because in Kingdom Hearts art, you know, when it comes to the Nomura art, that color gold goes like that. That's the type of gold that works with that. But at the same time, you know, Erd's eyes look more gold than Broggy's eyes could. And Erd, when it comes to her name in Norse mythology, Erd is one of the 3 Norns in Norse mythology. Now they're companions, sisters, whatever. There are 3 female goddesses that, you know, deal with different points of time and dictate the destinies, the fate of man. They're basically like the fates, right? And Erd means fate. Specifically, out of the 3 Norns, Erd means fate. I don't know how to say it. Voroandi means present, and Skuld means future. And Skuld is also one of the Norns, and we know that Skuld is a character from Union Cross. Now, here is the deal. Here is the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Right? This whole talk about fate, this whole talk about destiny, right? Skuld, being one of the Norns, also has golden eyes. Erd, also being a Norn, also has golden eyes. Now, a huge misconception among the Kingdom Hearts community and Kingdom Hearts lore is that golden eyes are somehow tied to the darkness. That has been debunked so many times and stuff throughout interviews, Nomura's words, books, and even the games themselves. Alright, the only thing that's confirmed so far about the golden eyes is that they are indeed traits of Xehanort and those that are connected to him or influenced by him, right? And that holds true throughout the entirety of the series, and then it very recently, super recently, in the Character Files book, it says that again, right? So, I'm thinking that the golden eyes are a trait that deals specifically with fate, with destiny. And how many times has Xehanort thrown around the word fate, destiny, especially in Kingdom Hearts 3? It's like, oh, but destiny's never left to chance. I merely guided them to their proper places. The broken boy who failed to be the blade, the misguided master who saved herself for a friend, and the feckless youth who became my new vessel. This man threw out fate all the time, right? And I feel the golden eyes, which he will attain, have to deal with fate and being a fatalist. Because right now, 2 wielders of the golden eyes, Skuld and Erd, deal with, they are literally the fates, right? So the way that Xehanort gains his golden eyes probably deals with him accepting, realizing, or working towards a specific fate. And that's why I feel the golden eyes might actually relate to. And Sora, being the reverse of that with blue eyes, are those that want to defy fate. And Sora was able to do so by abusing the power of waking. That is the clash of fates, the duel of fates. So, man. So, Erd has to be connected somehow with Skuld. And I find it so funny that Skuld is the one that means future, right? But she takes place in the past. And in Erd, if we're going by constant time, when it comes to constant time through Xehanort, Her name means fate, or what could be, described as, like fate. There is no when it comes to these three, fates. It's not like it's past, present, future. It's literally fate, present, and future, right? Which is so weird, right? And when it comes to Erd, together with the Erd Norns, they are beneath the world tree of Yggdrasil. They are underneath the world tree of Yggdrasil of Asgard, and there they spin the threads of life. They cut marks into pole figures and measure people's destinies. They're like, oh, big brain! Big brain, here we go. They are the ones that spin the threads of life, cut marks in the pole figure, and measure people's destinies, which shows the fate of all human beings and gods, right? They are always present when a child is born and decide its fate, and the Norns represents the past, future, and present. So Earth does dictate the past. There's past, present, and future, and they're the ones that dictate fate, measure people's destinies, right? So, if Skuld and Erd are naturally those that are the Norns, and they have the golden eyes because they probably have the power over fate, they have the power over to, manipulate and dictate people's destinies, perhaps Xehanort gained those golden eyes because he gained the power, which we've seen time and time and time and time and time again throughout the Kingdom Hearts series. He has the power to dictate people's destinies, and that's how he gains the yellow golden eyes. And he does that. He probably gets those and does that by the end of Dark Road, which seals his fate as one who controls fate, because he's done that from Kingdom Hearts 1, Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Dream Drop Distance. He has done that time and time again, and that is how he gains his golden eyes, because he realizes his destiny of that person who is able to dictate someone's destiny. And that is what he wanted to do, and that is why he wanted to create the Keyblade, and that is why he wanted to summon Kingdom Hearts and reset the world. You know why? Because they need someone to stand up and lead, someone strong to stop the weak from polluting the world with their endless darkness, someone to dictate their destiny. And to take it a step further in the fifth dimension, you're not that person, Xehanort. And when he dies, his eyes go back from gold to silver when he dies, because he is not that person. Sora should not get the golden eyes because he changed fate. He changed fate in order for people to have their fate not written in stone. He was the one who was able to change fate. He didn't follow fate, he changed fate in order for people to choose for themselves. So he broke that. So that's why he doesn't get the golden eyes, because that's not what he wants to do. He doesn't want to, dictate people's destinies. He wants to change destiny so people have a choice. That's the difference. So I feel that's the deal with Erd, right? And also the fact that she also has silver hair doesn't really help either. But I feel, she looks really mischievous. I like how Nomura gave her like the little cat smile. I really like that. All right, so we talked about Erd and we talked about Bragi. All right, let's talk about. We're gonna leave Veor for last. We're gonna talk about Ermod. Now, Ermod in Norse mythology is a son of Odin and the brother of Balder, right? He is a son of Odin, right? So that would make him brother of Thor, brother of Balder, and he's often considered to be a messenger, or the messenger, the herald of the gods, right? And he's the one that goes around and, you know, sends messages. He is the one who, like, you know, brings, I would say, I don't want to say omens or anything. Like, he just brings messages. All right. So according to this, the gods were speechless and devastated by the death of Balder when it happened, and unable to react during their grief. After the gods gathered their wits from in the immense shock and grief of Balder's death, Frigga asked I know this word. I've seen this word so many times. Aesir, whatever. Who was among them and wished to gain all of her love and favor by riding the road to hell. Right. Whoever agreed to offer Hel a ransom in exchange for Baldur's return to Asgard, and Hermod agreed to this and set off to Hel. So Hermod was the one who went to Hel to try and get Baldur back. All right. Okay. So he not only he's a messenger, but he also seems to be one to like travel. He's a traveler. He's a messenger. So you know what I think. Oh man, talk about the gifts of the giftless. Yo, let's go. Young Xehanort. He gained what made him so powerful in terms of power, ideals, and logic. He probably gained from all of his companions. The wanted to strive to be the best, to be Eraqus, power. That's what Eraqus gave Xehanort. Erd, the power in order to, you know, dictate fate for the greater good. That's what Erd gave to Xehanort. Bragi, the knowledge of everything passed down before him up until now. The knowledge that Xehanort needed. That's Bragi's gift. Hermod, the need to travel the world and spread the good word. That's Bragi's gift to Xehanort. Each one of these people, each one of Xehanort's companions instilled a trait onto him to make him the greatest Keyblade master known to Kingdom Hearts. Let's go. Tetsuya no more. My friends are my power! My friends are my... That's the power of the fifth dimension, boys. My friends are my power, and they are literally all Xehanort's power. And man, something must have really happened to him. Like they probably all instilled good intentions into him, and he was gearing up to be the best of the best. But then something happened. Something must have happened to them that left only him and Eraqus standing, that twisted him and put him on this dark road. But before whatever happened to them, they instilled their best traits onto Xehanort. Eraqus, the strive to be the best. Erd, the power to dictate fate. Bragi, the knowledge from Keyblade wielders past to present. Hermod, the need to travel the world and expand your horizons and spread the word and stuff. My lord. So that's Bragi's thing, right? And he definitely looks like to be the oldest. So out of everyone, you know, he definitely seems to be the oldest. And just like Xehanort and Eraqus, he has those weird banners on his design, right? So what is telling me those banners kind of tell me that these guys are in line for Mark of Mastery, or it could be possible this guy is already a master at this point, and it's possible that he, out of all the students, yes, he's still a student, but he's a master. And he still hangs out with his friends, but being a master, he probably travels a lot. He's probably the one that travels the most out of all of them without anybody, right? Of course, we're gonna see these characters travel because they go off to, like, you know, Scala Ad Caelum and stuff like that, blah 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 and whatnot. They go to like Agrabah, Neverland, whatever. But it seems that this guy might be the one traveling on his own, and he might be the one leading the way. This guy looks like he might be the leader. you know, leading the way for the other people. He seems to be the oldest, so he's leading the way for the other people. So, wow, okay, Nomura, I see you, big brain, I see you. That's Ermod, and then last but not least, we come to Vorir, right? And in Old Norse mythology, Vorir is known as the careful one, the aware one. Goddess of wisdom, the aware one. Oh man, that's what she gave to Xehanort. That's what she gave to Xehanort. The need to keep your ears to the ground and be aware of everything. And that's why she's the reason why he's a tactician. She is the reason why Xehanort is a devious, intelligent tactician that thinks of everything and is aware of everything. This is crazy. So all these characters probably like instill their greatness into Xehanort, and that is why Xehanort is so great, because of his friends. Because his friends are literally his power. Oh my goodness. That's wild. I am a man who prepares for every eventuality. He is the man who has everything, and he's like, oh, you know, you're only one of the many paths I decided to take. Trust me, I've made certain of that. This man is big brain because of this one. Vorir is wise and inquiring. Wise and inquiring. Always trying to seek new information. He wants to get Kingdom Hearts for the ultimate information, the ultimate power, the ultimate knowledge. Wise and inquiring, so nothing can be concealed from her. Nomura, you thought you had me. You thought you had me, but guess what? I'm back on the chessboard, and king me. Bam, king me. I'm back on the chessboard. My pawn has reached you left me with just pawns. And I was able to make it back to your zone. King me. King me. Guys, I know it's checkers. Oh my god. So we've gone through these characters, and now I feel we've cracked the code on how they relate to Xehanort and their meaning. And boy, oh boy, I hope you guys are ready for that video. We're gonna make a video on that one. It's wild. That's crazy. Dang, Nomura, I see you. 5D chess. Oh my god, I tip my hat to you, man. That's crazy. Now, as we do know, these characters are in Scala Ad Caelum, right? And Scala Ad Caelum is a whole society. As Xehanort was saying, once a seat of power for all Keyblade wielders. It is a nexus in which all worlds spring. Now, we do know that Scala Ad Caelum is somehow built on top of the ruins of Daybreak Town, which I hope we see happen. Oh god. I hope we see it happen in Dark Road. I hope we see how how Daybreak Town, or not see it, but learn about it. Learn how it happened, right? And if Daybreak Town is literally, the center of how all of the worlds broke apart after the Keyblade War, and then got separated, segmented into separate small worlds. And I want to know how Daybreak Town went from Daybreak Town to Scala Ad Caelum. And with this particular class, I feel that this class of Keyblade wielders, Xehanort's class, is like the top class, Class A1, right? Because their classroom, their whole shebang seems to be at the top of the tower of like the main important tower. But it could be possible that, you know, as we see Scala Ad Caelum, how it's built, right? It's like each thing coming out of the water has its own type of like pyramid or stuff like that. And it's built one way, built another way, built another way, and then each one could have their like best class of the class, or each of the Keyblade wielders classes could be on top of those things, and then that's how they use the cables, Cable Town, to get from class to class, building to building, right? But overall, it's just a gigantic, never-ending society, and you know, I want to know how important Xehanort's class is, because if this looks like to be a society that's made up of nothing but Keyblade wielders. Everyone who lives in Scala Ad Caelum, very similar to how Daybreak Town functioned, because I mean, like in Daybreak Town, like all we saw were Keyblade wielders and Moogles, right? I feel that everyone in Scala Ad Caelum needs to have a Keyblade. That's your ticket in. That's your you know, membership card. That's your, you know, that's how we know you're a Scala Ad Caelum person, right? So, you know, I do want to know how important Xehanort's area of Scala Ad Caelum is, and how big Scala Ad Caelum is, and how it relates to the overall series, and where is it now, as of like now, not Dark Road now, but now. You know, did something happen to Scala Ad Caelum, or you know, whatnot? And then that also boils down to the question of who is Eraqus and Xehanort's master. Now, I feel Eraqus and Xehanort's master still has to dive deep into Norse mythology. Yo, can you imagine if Nomura just fucking shows off Xehanort's master, and their master is literally named Odin? How would you guys feel about that? That would be the most hilarious thing. It's like, it's like, yes, Master Odin, and I'm like, all right, we're going there, man. We're going. That's where we're going. We're going there. Cool. Got it. But all in all, that would be really cool to see who their master is. And I really, you know, personally, I don't want them to cop out with their master being someone that we know of already, because I want a new character. And I'm glad that they're introducing new characters into Dark Road, because, you know, I love expanding the Kingdom Hearts lore over and over and over again, right? And then here's something that I want to dial back from Dark Road going forward into Kingdom Hearts. After, you know, Sora is gone, he has to be recovered, but once he is, he's gonna have to face off with the Foretellers, the Lost Masters. Oh baby, right? So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, right? Eraqus and Xehanort are dead. They're dead. And then you can die in Kingdom Hearts. So it's like, oh, no one stays dead in Kingdom Hearts. No, people stay dead. Eraqus and Xehanort, they're dead. They're dead. Right? They're dead. No Heartless, no nobodies, no pass go, no $200, no nothing. Right? They're dead. So the thing is, despite them being dead, as we've seen in Union Cross, there are ways for the deceased to interact and to, you know, talk to those of the living, as we've seen Strelitzia in the white coat talk to Lorian. Now, here's the thing I want to note, because obviously if Nomura is going to, you know, show off new characters, they have to be important to the overall story. And as we've seen, Ephemer is important to the overall story, because we saw Ephemer show up in Kingdom Hearts 3. Skuld is important to the overall story, as Skuld is, you know, basically almost 100%, she's like 90% confirmed to be Subject X. And, you know, no one stays irrelevant within Kingdom Hearts. So, I feel that if these guys are dead, you know, Vor, Bragi, Ermad, and Erd, if they're dead, they too are dead with Eraqus and Xehanort. Going forward with Sora's clash against the Foretellers, I feel that Sora may need to come into contact with each of these members, and in coming into contact with each of these members could talk to them about their times of a Keyblade wielder, their interaction with Xehanort, what made him so great, how that greatness could be instilled into Sora, especially when Xehanort said, "You remind me of an old friend." right? And then gave him the Keyblade. Very well done. So that would be a good way to, like, you know, they said that the enemy they're fighting, the Xehanort saga, as the Dark Secret saga comes to a close, the enemy that they're fighting is done. Xehanort's dead. That doesn't mean that Xehanort can't come back, but I don't think he'll come back as Old Man Xehanort. Possibly Sora could have like either visions, dreams, or interactions with these fallen in their young forms, right? And that way, we're like, haha, Benjamin Diskin, you're back, haha, you know. Sora will talk with young Xehanort, kid Xehanort, and then instill wisdom. Kind of like, you know, think of it as Avatar: The Last Airbender, where, you know, Aang talks with, you know, previous avatars in the Avatar cycle or stuff and whatnot. Kind of speaking to them like that. You know, he talks with young Xehanort, Benjamin Diskin. He talks with young Eraqus, Drake Bell, and he'll be able to, you know, talk and interact with Vor, Erd, Bragi, and Ramad in order to find ways to, you know, stack up and fight against the Foretellers and the Master of Masters, especially since they would have, you know, I feel they do have knowledge on the Lost Masters and whatnot, and especially with Xehanort's, you know, interaction with the Master of Masters, that can prove useful for Sora. And that, I feel that would be a great way, because I really want to assume, I really want to think that the Lost Masters, the Foretellers, I really want to hope that they are a league of their own when it comes to being Keyblade Masters. They are literally the Keyblade Masters under the Master of Masters. And I just want to believe that Master Xehanort was literally like he was the hors d'oeuvre, the entive, he was the snack, he was the appetizer to the meals of the Foretellers, right? I really want to assume that they are definitely like, oh, you thought Xehanort was bad? Just wait until you fight Gula, Aced, Envy, Ira, Lucio, and Ava. And, you know, Master of Masters, his name. And I feel his name is like Superbia or Superb or Super. I think his name is Superbia. It's like, my name is Superbia. I'm a Lost Master. Because, of course, it deals with the 7 deadly sins and whatnot. But that is what I think. But the funniest thing, we were diving so hard into the lore within Dark Road, Scala Ad Caelum, Daybreak Town. These new Keyblade wielders, well, they're not new, they're old, but they're new now. These new Keyblade wielders, the Foretellers, and all that good jazz, we're dealing with all of this stuff. And thanks to Nomura, we really have to figure out, where does Yozora, come on, where does Yozora fit in all of this? Where does Yozora, like, where does Yozora fit in all of this, Nomura? Where? I understand that you wanted Versus 13 to be a thing. I understand Noctis to take it away from you, and he's your kid, he's your son, he's your boy. I understand you want to give him new life, but where does Yozora fit in all of this? Whew. But, yeah, maybe a way for them to interact with these people is because when you die in Kingdom Hearts, you go to where all hearts return, unless you go to the final world, which is, yikes. So, in the Kingdom Hearts lore, the final world is basically purgatory. Is when people die, their hearts go to this place, the final world, the last world. There is nothing beyond this. They go there, they get stuck there, because they are filled with regrets, passing emotions that were never fulfilled, and really effed up stuff. And it's funny, like, people say, oh, Kingdom Hearts is a game for kids. Man, Kingdom Hearts is a game for kids. There's so much dark stuff. Go to the final world. Go talk to all those nameless hearts. Go talk to all of those hearts and tell me that's a kid's game. Holy shit, right? So, if you have any type of regrets or died in a really fucked up way, you go to the final world. But if not, all hearts return, all hearts return to Kingdom Hearts, right? So, a good way for us to possibly interact with dead Xehanort, we're gonna call that now, dead Xehanort, dead Eraqus, dead Var, dead Erd, dead Bragi, dead Hermod, is finally, because I really thought Kingdom Hearts 2 was gonna be it, but not. Finally, go to Kingdom Hearts. Possibly in this next saga, we'll finally go to Kingdom Hearts. And in Kingdom Hearts, we talk to these people here because that's where they are, because they're dead. The afterlife, where hearts go. Right? Segue. Maybe Yuzora's connected to Sora in some weird way. Boy, let me tell you about all the theories I got about that. Check out my channel. A very popular theory of mine. Check out my theory. Sora and Yuzora, the one true sky. Check it out. And we did have a Verum Rex. We did have an episode on the fifth dimension. You should check it out on my channel too. It's there. Like, there's a whole playlist, right? But we're talking about Dark Road. Now, it's obvious. It's extremely obvious that this man, Xehanort, is the main character of Dark Road. But I feel the name Dark Road because Nomura. The thing is, Nomura and naming Kingdom Hearts games that are not numbered, 358 days does not count. That are not numbered, always has some sort of weird, alternative, ulterior meaning. It's never straightforward with this man. Never. So we have Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. And we know what the Chain of Memories is when you play the game. We have Kingdom Hearts 358. 358 days over 358 days over 2, which you find out why it's 358 days over 2. Yeah. We have Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. We have Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Kingdom Hearts Key, Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, Union Cross, and now Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Now, the Dark Road, I feel a lot of people might take it at first glance at, Dark Road, is that, oh, Xehanort chooses the road of darkness, right? And that's Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. It's about young Xehanort, how he becomes a seeker of darkness. He likes darkness. Darkness is his main thing. That's his Dark Road, because he chooses a road of darkness. I don't think that's it. If we're going by the notion and the theory that Xehanort, obviously, at the end of the day, when Xehanort got his ass beat by Sora throughout the entirety of Kingdom Hearts, Xehanort always had good intentions, right? But his execution was fucked up. And it's one of those morality issues of the ends do not justify the means, right? The ends of what Xehanort was going for was good. The means of him getting there was not good. So that's why, in terms of like morality, Xehanort's a very gray character, in my opinion, right? So, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, I feel, is not a road of darkness, but it is a listen to me. It's not a road of darkness. It is a road that is dark. AKA, it is a road that is fucked up. So I feel that Xehanort, obviously, he went off to become a Keyblade wielder. He trained alongside Eraqus. He was taught about the grandeurs of the light. He was taught about the issues of the darkness, right? And something fucked up, or some things fucked up along his way of becoming a Keyblade Master must have happened to him and his companions. So that's probably why it's the Dark Road, because it's Xehanort's Dark Road. It's the fucked up road he had to walk to get to the point where he realized, hey, listen, the old ways of the light does not work. So that's why I feel that he's definitely gonna witness Vedor, Bragi, Ermod, and Erd. I feel like he's gonna see them get fucked up before him. They're probably gonna die. They're all probably gonna die before Xehanort. By the end of Dark Road, they're all gonna die. Like, one by one, they're all gonna get smoked, right? And then as they get smoked, he's gonna instill their traits one by one into himself in order to be a better person. But then when Destiny comes knocking, and when he talks to Xehanort, he's like, maybe I won't go as far as you. When the world needs a defender, they're gonna choose you, Eraqus. They can't choose me because that's not what I believe. That's not what I believe. And by the time he talks with the Master of Masters, he's like, nah, there needs to be change. There need, like, you know, people running around with darkness. The sheep pretending to be wolves. They're fucking up this earth, and the ways of light is not fixing it. We need to change it. We need to do it a different way. It's time, and you know, I've seen some fucked up shit, so I'm gonna use the darkness to my advantage, right? And the Master's like, for real? Is like, yeah, I'm gonna use it to my advantage. I mean, you gave me the coat, I'm ready to roll, right? And he's like, you know what? That's it. You're the guy. But guess what? When you conquer the darkness, you will bend it to your will. And I believe that you're strong enough. The world needs you, right? So Xehanort probably gained his affinity for the darkness through fucked up experiences he's had, and he's like, no. My companions, my companions, my classmates, they died for this? Fuck this, right? And that's the dark road he took onto realization that, listen, there's fucked up people in this world, and other people are going to continue to pay the price for it. Everyone that I've ever cared about is gone. By the time, like you know, of course, Eraqus is there, but then, you know, Xehanort really had to let go of the final piece of that puzzle, and that's why he killed him. But, like, everyone I ever cared about is gone. I have no attachment to this world. We need to burn it down, start over. Because everyone's fucking this up. It's better to just start anew, start fresh, and I'm strong enough to like, you know, guide the world into a new world order so that people don't fuck it up with the darkness no more. And this is the road that makes him realize that, and he's probably gonna realize that further and strong with each death of his companions. Each death is gonna basically push him more to the edge. Breath of the Sith, that or the mom manipulating him from the start? No, because the Master of Masters met him at a certain point where he was old enough already. He was a lot older, and he was ready up for his Mark of Mastery exam. So he had to meet him at a point where Xehanort was already fucking with the darkness. He had, from what we see in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, he had to have met him when Xehanort was already fucking with the darkness, right? So at that point, he's like, you know, he's already down this. He's already down this dark road. Let me just, you know, help him. Because the Master of Masters and Luchu can't really do anything in order to help push their own agendas. They have to let it happen naturally in order to follow the Book of Prophecies. That's what the Master and Luchu wants, because they want to follow the designs. And the designs say that this person is going to come along and do this shit. So they have to let it happen naturally, organically. And that's what happened with Xehanort. So, man. Who was the aware one again? The aware one was Veor, the little girl. Veor. That's the little girl, that's the aware one. God, I love video games. Holy shit. But, man, oh man. And one thing I love about Dark Road, and especially with the art that showcases the classmates, where it showcases Xehanort, Eraqus, Veor, Ermad, and Bragi. That art I love so much because we have Xehanort. Obviously, Xehanort is the star of the show. He's been a star, if not the star of the show of Kingdom Hearts, you know, aside from Sora. And Dark Road, he's definitely the star of this show, right? He's sitting in the chair that really puts him at contrast of Sora, because Sora was sitting in the chair in the art for Kingdom Hearts 3. And man, I love the duality between Xehanort and Sora. I love it. God, why do I get so much head for no reason? I thought I was pouring it right. Next time I have to pour it out of bottles. Man, and I love that Nomura is going into Norse mythology with these names and naming conventions and whatnot. But I really need to see who this master is, and I really need to see the process of Xehanort, you know, going from point A to point B. As we've seen in one of the screenshots, it seems that Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness, which is, you know, the dark cloak, the robed figure, that's Ansem, right? And Ansem, obviously, you see that Ansem puts him on his way for Xehanort to become Xehanort, and Ansem is Xehanort, right? That's what we see, that's what we perceive, and then we see Xehanort in his original clothes. You know, this world is too small, and that's a little slight retcon from what we saw in Birth by Sleep, but it's understandable because they had to fix that up. They had to fix it up considering what was going on with Kingdom Hearts 3, right? But at the same time, you know, that deals with the bootstrap theory. The bootstrap theory is just one doozy of a theory, and the doozy of the theory is that basically the bootstrap theory is that you messing around with time flow, you going back in time to make sure an event that is sure to happen because you made it happen. But what started it to happen, because it already happened by your time, but you're making sure that you go back to make it happen. And that's the bootstrap theory. You know, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And, you know, if you guys are Zelda fans, a huge example of the bootstrap theory is what do you call them? The windmill musician, the Song of Storms guy. That's a huge example of the bootstrap theory, because when you become an adult, the guy's mad because the kid taught him the Song of Time, but you didn't know the Song of Time until you learn it from the guy in the future. And then since you learn it from the future, you go back to the past to play it to make sure the guy knew it to teach you in the future, right? So where did it start? That's the bootstrap theory, right? And this deals with the bootstrap theory when it comes to young Xehanort and Ansem setting him on the way. Ansem was there because Ansem is literally a future form of Xehanort that went through all his bullshit, became old, got Terra's body, split off, became Ansem, became Xemnas. Ansem placed himself there, went back to the past, gave him the power of time travel and whatnot, but set him on his way. But in order to set him on his way, he was already at a point in time that he was already on his way, but he had to make sure that he went on his way. How does he remember how he went on his way? By seeing the dude. But it turns out the dude was him the whole time. And that's the bootstrap theory. Like, he got on his way because he set him on his way. But the only way to set him on his way is to know that he was on his way in the first place in order to put him back, to put him on his way. And that's bootstrap theory. So, yeah. I got lost with Ansem. Yeah, no, the Ansem thing, it's a very popular theory. It's not nothing new that, you know, Nomura or Square Enix or Kingdom Hearts decided to deal with. It's an existing popular theory. Where, like, you know, another form of the theory is like the grandfather clock theory, or the grandfather theory, where it's like, oh, I forgot how that one went, but, like, you know, it's like, if you go and eliminate your grandfather, would you be born? That's a related theory, but the bootstrap theory is just like, you know, oh, something that happened already, but you had to go and ensure it happened because you saw it already happen, but the only way that you know that it happened is because it happened to you, type shit. You know, that's something that, you know, it's a very popular theory to fuck around with in narrative. So don't think that Kingdom Hearts is just like, oh my god, they're just throwing random shit. It's like, nah, the bootstrap theory is pretty popular. So, because Ansem is the one that started out this. No. See, that's the beauty of the bootstrap theory. Did Ansem really start all this? Because Ansem already at that point in Xehanort's life had to have known that it happened in order to ensure that it happened. And he had to grow up from young Xehanort into old Xehanort, into Terra Xehanort, into Apprentice Xehanort, into Ansem, into Xemnas, and then as Ansem had to go back to young Xehanort to make sure he was on his way. But when he got to the point of Ansem, he was already on his way. So he didn't start it because he was already there. And that's... Bootstrap theory is fun, bro. Shit. Like when Harry Potter saved himself in the third movie. Exactly. That's bootstrap theory exactly. Where he went to save himself. Because, like, he was there. He was saved. He thought he was his dad. But it wasn't his dad. And then he had to go back in time. And then he saw him getting fucked up. And he's like, don't worry. I'm going to get saved. And then he wasn't getting saved. And he's like, alright. And then I went and saved. And then he saved him. He's like, oh, it wasn't my dad. It was me. I saved me. And I knew that I saved me because I was already saved. That's bootstrap theory. That's the bootstrap theory. Oh, man. Did the Dark Road Twitter just tweet something again? I can't take this. Oh, they did. Oh, that art is so clean. Oh, okay, I see it. It's art. It's art. Okay, that's so clean. It's just art with all the Keyblade wielders. All right, so clean. That's so clean. That's some delicious art. That is some delicious art. All right. We'll keep revealing more each day. Oh wow! What a great stream for the 5th dimension. Apparently, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road Twitter says they're gonna keep revealing info each day. Oh man, looks like the HMK wagon is gonna keep burning. There's gonna be some funny ass shit. Holy jeez. So, now we've dealt with young Xehanort in the 5th dimension, right? And obviously, it looks like, you know, from the gameplay aspects that we've seen, that he's going to be the one that's playable. And, you know, each member, if not multiple members, because we've seen Xehanort work with Eraqus, Xehanort work with Eraqus and Vor, Eraqus and Eraqus and this. So, it could be possible that Xehanort is going to be rolling with Eraqus in every world he's going to or whatnot, and then they might throw in another member or two, right? And you know, considering what they're going to go do dangerous stuff, but I want to know what they're doing specifically, because like obviously Scala Ad Caelum, and from the line of departure, and what we know is that the Keyblade wielders, they aspire to be those that, you know, contain the peace, keep the order of the worlds by destroying or fixing any disturbances or occurrences, right? And the one disturbance that obviously plagues the worlds are Heartless, you know, manifestations of the darkness within people's hearts. So they're gonna have to go around cleaning up Heartless and whatnot. But I want to know if they're gonna follow the same, you know, factor, which they're gonna be dealing with data worlds built by the Book of Prophecies, real worlds and whatnot, because, you know, I want to assume that they're just going to go from world to world in real time, and then I want to see what the worlds really are like during the time of young Xehanort, because in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, they create the worlds through the Book of Prophecies and through data from worlds that are taken from the future, and that's why they, you know, mess around with events that are known to Sora or a little before known to Sora. Right, so that's like, oh, if this takes place like thousands of years in the past, how are the Disney World stories going like this? It's because they're taking worlds from the future using the Book of Prophecies, right? So I want to know if they're gonna do something similar for Scala Ad Caelum, or if they're literally gonna be the Keyblade Patrol, because that's basically what Terra and Aqua were. Terra and Aqua were basically Keyblade Patrol from the Land of Departure, because the Unverse were going around, you know, fucking shit up. And I want to know if Scala Ad Caelum with young Xehanort, young Eraqus, and the crew, if they're going to be, you know, once again, Keyblade Patrol. I want to assume so, you know. HFK's mind be like, what if we get a new dearly beloved for Dark Road? Dude, We have to now. We have to. Man. Something dark creeped up to my head. Alright, here's the thing. People can only be displaced through time for so long according to Kingdom Hearts lore. Unless they fuck with the power of waking and, you know... unless they, you know, fuck with the power of waking and then deal with that, right? The Foretellers are back at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. And I don't think Lucio or Xigbar got replicas in order to summon them back. And if Xigbar, okay, there's two. All right, here's two strands to this theory. All right, here's the fucked up one, and here's the logical one. The fucked up one is that what if straight up? Okay, if you guys watch Naruto, there's something that might be up your alley, right? What if each of these characters were killed, or at least fucked up and made into vessels by Lucio in order to prepare the return of certain people, right? And because the only ones we know that are standing by the end of Dark Road is Eraqus and Xehanort. Where did Vor go? Where did Erd go? Where did Hermod go? Where did Bragi go? What if these bodies were taken and then Lucio literally used these bodies to house the hearts of the Foretellers to bring them back? I feel it could be a possibility, right? Now that's the one thing. That's one idea. The other idea deals with elements. Now, as we all know, Xigbar's main element is space. He has spatial manipulation, and he deals with space a lot. And I'm like, bro, this man actually like displaces things through space. So space is an element that is outside and alongside that of space. It's usually the three big elements that dictate existence is space, reality, and time. And they kind of exist outside of each other, but they work in symmetry. They work in symbiosis in order to make up existence. So what if, here's the other logical theory. Since Lucio Xigbar deals with the element of space, what if, like, by the end of the Keyblade War, or just during the Keyblade War, or during the time of Union Cross, Lucio uses power of space to displace Ira Ava, no, not definitely Ava, because I mean, obviously Ava, Ira, Gula, Aced, and Envy. He uses power of space to displace them, to put them outside, to put them in a space outside of time, and then when the time was right, he summoned them back by opening up the space they were in to bring them back. And he's like, "Are you the one that summons back?" He's like, "Yep, because I'm the one who put you in there." So that's another logical aspect. But I like the theory of them using the dead bodies as vessels from these other Keyblade wielders. What if that was part of Xigbar's plan? What if that was part of Lucio's plan to put... Oh my god, no, that's dark. That's dark. But it is Dark Road, that's dark. Like, Xigbar, Lucio did that shit on purpose, killed these fools in order to get their bodies as vessels for the Foretellers to put Xehanort on the Dark Road. And that's how everything comes together. And that's how everything gets pieced together. He puts Xehanort on the Dark Road to make the Keyblade War, and he kills two birds with one stone. He gets the vessels, puts Xehanort on the Dark Road, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Man, it's wild. Breath of Wild. But man, that really does boil down to who is their master, right? And I really wonder if we're gonna see their master or whatnot. And you know, when it comes to Unicross Dark Road, I am all for the story. I am incredibly invested, ready. I want the story, but it really boils down on how the story is going to be, what's the word? How the story is going to be given to us, right? Because as we all know, Union Cross has been going on for 4 years, all right? And I'm not complaining about Union Cross because like it's literally Kingdom Hearts before Kingdom Hearts. It's like Kingdom Hearts 0. Well, you know, Nomura calls Birth by Sleep Kingdom Hearts 0, but whatever. So Union Cross is like I'm down for that, and I'm gonna make a video on that. Is that Union Cross? I'm not mad or salty or anything like that because I love the way that they give a story. You know, it's kind of like it's like a manga, it's like a series, it's like a show. You know, constantly new story through a game that I can play, and it's for free and whatnot. And you know, it keeps the Kingdom Hearts hype alive. If you know Union Cross were to end like 2 years ago or before Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, like we wouldn't be talking about it now, whatnot. For Union Cross, I appreciate that and I like that. For Dark Road, since it's Xehanort's story, I don't know if I'm going to like them doing the same thing, because not only will they have to be juggling story updates for Union Cross, they'll also have to be juggling story updates for Dark Road. Now the thing is, Dark Road is a separate game that has access through the Union Cross app, so that's why it's called Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Dark Road. So it could be possible that Dark Road as a standalone game is, you know, a game that can be played and enjoyed, and the story could be done once you finish it. It's all there, blah blah blah, right? It could be possible, because from what Dark Road seems, is a very single player centric game, but with Union Cross you're in unions, and you know, it has a type of multiplayer aspect to it, so it has to be ongoing and whatnot. Dark Road, I see no reason for it to be ongoing, especially if it's a single player game that, you know, I don't see a reason for it to have any type of ranking system or anything like that. So it could be possible that Dark Road could just, you know, be straight up standalone and have the whole story, you know, put out when the game releases, and then it's something to supplement and be fun for Union Cross. But at the same time, from the screenshots that we've seen, there is a collection aspect to the game. Well, I mean, collection doesn't really mean a game has to be ongoing, because there's many single player games on console that incorporates collection and collecting and all good stuff, and it could be possible that they could have events and stuff. But when it comes to the story, you know, I don't know. It depends on how it's presented. I don't know if I'm gonna want it to be in bits and pieces, because I mean, Xehanort's dead, but maybe they'll lead into something grand for the next series of Kingdom Hearts that Xehanort will still be a part of, but he's not going to be an enemy. I've been doing this for a while. I need to stop. Alright. So, yeah. Kingdom Hearts, you don't have to beat Union Cross. Like, what do you mean beat? Union Cross is still ongoing. You don't beat Union Cross, right? Dark Road is a separate game from Dark Road, and you don't need to play. No, wait. Dark Road is a separate game from Union Cross, and you don't need to play Union Cross to play Dark Road. However, you do need the Union Cross app in order to access it and play it. When you like, from what they've said, you get the Union Cross app, Union Cross, and it's like, would you like to play Union Cross or Dark Road? And you play the Dark Road. And that's it. You know. I hope he stays dead. Now, I want him to stay dead too, but that doesn't mean he can't come back. You know, he could be a spirit. He's dead, but he's a spirit. But he's dead. You know what's one thing that I'm really excited about that I want to see? I want to see Xigbar swing around that Keyblade. I want to see Lucio. I want to see Lucio swing around that no-name Keyblade. I want to fight Lucio with that Keyblade. I want to see, like, yo, this man is packing some heat. Holy shit. Oh my god. But man, all in all, I'm excited for Union Cross Dark Road, right? And it's funny because from the arts, like not the arts, but like the promo material that we see from Dark Road, it shows, you know, a picture of Xehanort and Eraqus and his colleagues, his companions, right? but behind that photo seems to be 2 more photos. So could it be possible that in all of this like promotion speculation that Dark Road is going to do, especially since they just confirmed that we're going to be getting news every day going forward, it could be possible that one of those news aspects could be like, oh, that's the first photo, the photo after that, and the photo after that, right? And I really do want to see by the end of Union Cross Dark Road, you know, I want to see Xehanort, young Xehanort, grow up into the Xehanort that we've seen and we've known, and I want him to, like, at the end of the game, this is what I want the end of the game to be. The end of the game to be just like him grabbing the no name and just like this is my destiny. Like that's the end of the game. And at the end of the game, you're there, you and I, there's a new land. Yeah. Can you imagine though? Like, can you imagine? I would love that. I would love that. I would love that. But what, you know what's another thing I want to know from Dark Road? I want to learn from Dark Road because like I was really like all of us easily were blindsided by the notion that we were all blindsided by the notion that we thought that Eraqus and Xehanort came from the Land of Departure. Now it really seems that Land of Departure is just, you know, land that is owned by the people that run Scala Ad Caelum, right? I want to know by, you know, in Dark Road, how Land of Departure plays into all of this, right? I want to know. And guys, are you excited? This is just a joke, but it could happen. Are you guys excited for Kingdom Hearts Dark Road? Kingdom Hearts Dark Road Ultimania? You guys excited for that? Dude. Man, Square, Disney, just bring the Ultimanias to the West. Translate it, man. I'll buy that shit in a heartbeat, bro. Come on, give me that shit. Are we not to talk about Strelitzia? What do you mean? Strelitzia is dead. Strelitzia is dead! Man, if Strelitzia actually does appear in Dark Road, that'd be crazy. Man. But since Dark Road takes place during the time of when young Xehanort is young Xehanort, when he's a kid, you know, I wouldn't expect to see any other character like Laurium, Elrena, Ephemer, Scald, Brain, you know, Ventus. I don't expect to see any of them within Dark Road because they seem to have time jumped from, you know, Union Cross time to, you know, time around Birth by Sleep, if not a little before or a little after. And I wouldn't expect to see any of them in Dark Road. But, you know, that's why when you guys brought up Strelitzia, I don't really see a need to incorporate Strelitzia as like a type of as a type of narrative within Dark Road if Laurium isn't there to, you know, help. If Laurium or the player character is not there to, you know, lull her along, because the player character is in Union Cross, but in Dark Road we play as Xehanort, and you know, Strelitzia has like the biggest 3 things that, you know, relates to Strelitzia is player character, Laurium, and Elrena, aka Marluxia, aka Larxie. And, you know, if there's no reason for to have any of those characters within Dark Road, then I don't see Strelitzia being there, you know. So, yeah. Man, we've been going off a lot of wild stuff, haven't we? We really went down and dirty with. Yo, that was earlier in the stream. That was a huge brain blast. Like, Xehanort, my friends are my power, instilled with the virtues and traits of Eraqus, Bragi, Armad, Veor, and Erd. Like, Tetsuya Nomura. Oh my god. I honestly can't wait for this game. I cannot wait for this game. And I want to know that, does anyone here like still play Union Cross? Because I still play Union Cross. Because man, this is one fun rabbit hole. Oh, amazing rabbit hole. Like, this rabbit hole is wild. Breath of the Wild. Oh. But when it comes to the Norse mythology of these characters, because I really want to, you know, dive deeper into this. So Erd is past, Skuld is future, which is hilarious because Erd means past, but exists in a future beyond Skuld. Okay, I think I get it now. So actually, I don't get it. Like, I was gonna say, they, you know, Erd being in the future was able to relay or dictate futures that are in dictate fates of those in the past, but her being in the future being able to dictate fates of the past, while Skuld, it being in the past, is able to dictate fates of the future. And we're still missing one Norn. Now, I don't know if we're gonna see like the third Norn in Dark Road. It could be possible the third Norn could be saved for the next saga of Kingdom Hearts, because the third Norn is, man, like, I don't know how to even pronounce this. Verondi, I don't know how to pronounce that. I really don't. Like, that's the third Norn, right? Skuld and Erd are two. And Verondi is the one of the present, which is so hilarious. You know, we have the future and the past, but we don't have one of the present. And I feel if we come into contact with the one in the present, shit's about to go down, right? So that's, I don't know. You know, but Bragi, you know, out of all of these characters, out of all of these new characters that we see, you know, Erd, Bragi, Veor, and Armand, I feel that Bragi is the one that's just like, we need to keep our eyes on this one. Bragi seems pretty wild, you know. Like, he has a lot of backstory, you know. Being obviously one of the sons of Odin, being the one who, you know, tells the stories and whatnot. I mean, he had a wife named, how do I even say that? Like, Nordic language is so crazy. Leon? Man, does anyone know what you call those two dots? Because I know when it's over a U, it's called umlaut. What do you call those two dots when it's over an O? Just crazy. But you know what's really cool? So, imagine if they introduced Loki in Kingdom Hearts, right? In Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Loki and Bragi in Norse mythology always went at it. They were always bumping heads. They were bumping heads all the time, right? So imagine if they incorporate someone like Loki. It's funny when I look at Bragi, he looks like a Loki. He looks like someone that could be Loki, right? If they were to incorporate Loki into Kingdom Hearts, like, you know, that would be the one to, like, you know, Bragi and Loki just like going at it left and right. What I really want to know, since Bragi is a poet, I want to know if this man is the one who, like, I gotta make sure. Hold up, because here's the thing, and you know, here's the thing that is very famous with Norse mythology, and something we have to do considering that Norse mythology is now being incorporated into Kingdom Hearts. And one thing that we've seen time and time again in Kingdom Hearts that we're trying to avert and we're trying to stop, and it keeps happening. You guys have to know what I'm talking about. Ragnarok, right? And I want to know if Bragi is the one who foretold Ragnarok. Alright, so Ragnarok. Who prophesied Ragnarok? I want to know that. You know, I want to say Odin, but yeah. Anyways, Ragnarok is also translated to being the fate of the gods, right? And of course, it's the decisive apocalyptic battle between various aspects of Nordic mythology, Norse gods, and whatnot that leads to the end of all things when it comes to, you know, Norse history, Norse mythology, and whatnot. And when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, you know, the power of Kingdom Hearts, as we've seen in Kingdom Hearts 3, the power of Kingdom Hearts has the power to destroy everything and reset it. So that seems very Ragnarocky, you know, Ragnarocky. You know, I would love to have. Yo, can you imagine a ice cream flavor called Ragnarocky Road? Yo, Ben and Jerry's. Ragnarocky Road. Chris Hemsworth. Marvel. Ragnarocky Road. You could have done that for Thor Ragnarok. You could have done that, but no. No. But, honestly, Ragnarok is something that, you know, the end of, like, basically, you know, when you look at analyzing all aspects of something, Ragnarok is like the end of a culture, right? The end of all things that define a culture when it comes to Norse mythology, Norse history, and whatnot, when we're dealing with Norse gods, right? And the break of daybreak definitely goes in line with that. However, the thing that's weeding me out is that if we're gonna incorporate, if we're gonna, you know, say that Ragnarok happened for Union Cross in breaking daybreak so that it could become Scala Ad Caelum, that will make sense. But the thing that throws the wrench into that whole gear setup is that we have people. Well, we had people before and after. Let me say that, because Skuld was a thing, was a name of Norn before the Ragnarok, but she survived afterwards, and that we have other characters that have Nordic, Norse mythology names in the time of Dark Road, which is after Ragnarok. So that means Ragnarok, we're still waiting on Ragnarok. And Dark Road exists during the time of the age beyond the age of fairy tales, which is also the age of Sora. And, you know, Xehanort's really trying to reach that Ragnarok. It was trying to reach that part in order to, like, reset the world, reset, you know, eliminate the existing culture in order to build something that is better and new, right? That's what he was trying to do. And that would be the true Ragnarok, but Sora averted it in two ways. Like, he reset history in order for the Guardians of Light not to be smoked by Terra Xehanort and the Darkness. And he fought Master Xehanort and whooped his ass. And, you know, that's how him averting Ragnarok will happen. But then he obviously paid the price for it. And that would definitely eliminate everything that came before, with that incorporate aspects of Norse mythology, because we know that Skuld as subject as apparently is still running around somewhere, right? We don't know for a fact if Bragi, Erd, Veor, and Armad are dead. We don't know, and that really begs the question of, like, if we're still set for a Ragnarok, and how messed up would that be? Because, I mean, we did experience one Ragnarok in which at the end of Union Cross, the Keyblade War destroyed the world, and it was rebuilt as separate small worlds, which would, you know, kind of incorporate a different culture, different things from what is known, because all the worlds, they can't visit each other no more. And Daybreak Town eventually did become Scala Ad Caelum, but that, you know, that happened after after the war, so the break didn't happen. And if the break is as serious as we think it is, because the Keyblade War destroyed the world, Kingdom Hearts was swallowed by the darkness, light was gone, and it had to be rebuilt in a different way. And if the break of Daybreak Town is as serious as it is that in which it becomes Scala Ad Caelum, but doesn't reset all that is, or all that is, all of creation, then, you know, how serious it has to be to specifically contain within itself in Daybreak Town. So that's crazy. So, we finished story. We're gonna study Norse mythology for this. Oh, definitely we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a quick break, a very quick break, because I need to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Are we trying to get back into this big brain hour? So, the most exciting thing for me when it comes to Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is, of course, I want to learn the story of young Xehanort, and like when I keep saying young Xehanort, I really mean just like Xehanort, because Xehanort, right? I really like his dark story, his dark past, his dark road, because I mean, obviously, as you know, kid Xehanort versus young Xehanort, because you know, I say kid Xehanort versus young Xehanort, both voiced by Benjamin Diskin, but kid Xehanort is, you know, obviously the Xehanort before his hair got slicked back and parted at the end with his bangs, and then kid Xehanort is like his hair scruffy down like in front, but then he grows up, because obviously there's a difference in height, and Benjamin Diskin did say that he had to change up his voice a little bit for younger Xehanort in order to sound more like a kid, right? And you can obviously see that when you see cutscenes, like, oh, that's Ben Diskin, but he sounds like a bit off. He's like he's trying to sound a bit younger, like a kid, because he's voiced kids before. Number 1, number 2, Kids Next Door, if you didn't know. So, you know, even as kid Xehanort, and even as young Xehanort that we fought and came into contact to in Dream Drop Distance, and in Kingdom Hearts 3, and in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, although he was a bad guy, and he fought us, he seemed, you know, pretty friendly. Like, in a different life, he seemed that you could be really good pals with Sora. And he was, friendly enough with Sora in Dream Drop Distance. He was friendly enough with Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3 to the point where, like, he would have conversation with him. Of course, he would, they had to fight a bunch of times, and he would be, he would try to beat his ass and whatnot. But overall, like, he seemed like a very friendly and endearing guy. And even at his old age, he seemed, friendly enough as a facade of what he once was in order to get what he wants, right? And I really want to know what really, like, set him off. Like, what really flipped the switch for him is, like, he's like, alright guys, Keyblade, yeah, we're gonna wield the Keyblade, we're gonna see the world, we're gonna explore the world, this world's too small, I need to see everything in its grandeur, I want to be the best that never was, I want to be the very best that no one ever was, to catch them was my... Anyways, he was really, like, overall happy-go-lucky kid. I want to know what, just like, he went from A to B, he went from A, happy-go-lucky, to B. It's like, no, people need to be ruled by darkness. They need to stop. Things are bad. The world, my lord, right? And I feel that the world tour that the Master of Masters really did hint for Xehanort at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind was like something that was long enough that existed from the point of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind up until that point of meeting the Master of Masters. And, that was the world tour, and he said, like, oh man, looks like the world really opened your eyes on how messed up it could be. But at the same time, it could be possible that, young Xehanort, although he's studying in Scala Ad Caelum, he has colleagues, companions of aspiring Keyblade wielders and masters and whatnot, and it could be possible that he is chaperoned, that he's escorted to certain parts of the world in order to mess with Heartless or whatever. And that is all part of either his master's plan or Scala's plan to let people know, hey, listen, the light is great, guys. The light is unanimous. The light is undisputed. You destroy the darkness. Darkness bad. And then he was escorted in a sense that, like, he only eliminates darkness, but he didn't really have a true grasp in the world where it's like, oh no, there aren't people out there with darkness in the hearts. Everyone's good. You're supposed to go out there and destroy the Heartless. Don't worry about people. They're fine. Everything is fine, guys. Light. Yeah. Destroy darkness. Darkness bad. You got this. You got this. So he was like chaperoned or escorted throughout the vast reaches of the world when he's doing that. But then that's him as a kid. But him growing into young Xehanort, because I want to put kid Xehanort around like 15 years old, and then young Xehanort got confirmed by Nomura to be around 18-20, right? So by the time he becomes young Xehanort, where he's in line for his Mark Mastery exam, he decides to go out in the world on his own, and then that's when he gets the dark coat from the Master of Masters. And then since he has no chaperone babysitting him, he goes wherever he wants to. And then he finds out how messed up and how fucked up the worlds actually are, and how messed up people can be with darkness in their hearts. And that could be part of the setup to Dark Road, and part of the thing that set him over the edge, along with the fact that, along with the theory, along with the speculation that his friends got murked before all this shit. Man. KH lore is truly fucked. Oh man, I love Kingdom Hearts lore. When people say bad Kingdom Hearts lore, they have to understand that it's a lore, it's a story, it's a mythology, that it's better ingested, better taken in at your own pace of consumption through the mediums, right? It's not something that you would get better when someone tells it to you. It has to be experienced. Right? It's a lore better experienced than told to you. And when people say it's convoluted, it's convoluted, it's confusing, it's all over the place. It really isn't once you take it in at your own leisure, at your own pace, in your own experiences. Right? It really isn't. It's very expansive, it's very broad, it has a lot to it, But once you put everything together at your own pace, it's not all that confusing. There are various forms of media, various franchises that have insanely intricate and expansive lore. Zelda, Harry Potter, J.R.R. Tolkien, you know, all that stuff. But, you know, people sandbag Kingdom Hearts a lot because they're like, oh, Kingdom Hearts is confusing. And I'm like, guys, really? I mean, I understand there's the meme of Kingdom Hearts being confusing, but then, you know, playing all these games, getting all this lore, reading all the books and all stuff, and for me, it just keeps clicking. It just keeps clicking and clicking for me, right? Sure, it's confusing once you don't have the whole picture. When you try to look through, like kind of how the Ancient One said in Doctor Strange, you've been trying to look at this whole franchise, this whole story through a keyhole, and then you've been trying, keyhole, and then you've been trying to widen the keyhole in order to get a better grasp of everything being given to you instead of looking at it from a different perspective. And when you look at it from a different perspective, then you get a grander feel, a grander appreciation, a grander consumption of said mythos, right? And, you know, for me, like, I don't want to say it comes easy, I don't want to say it comes natural either, but for me, it just comes, you know? So, and with every new piece of information, with every new piece of lore, every new piece of story, I get hungry for more and how it can relate to the past and future of this grand series. Because I mean, Kingdom Hearts is almost 20 years old. The Kingdom Hearts series is almost 20 years old. That's crazy. And I've been loving every step of the way. I really have. Kingdom Hearts is gonna be 20 years old next year. I said tomorrow. I was about to say tomorrow. I mean, like, if I remember correctly, 2002. No, like Kingdom Hearts 1 came out. Kingdom Hearts came out 2002. Oh, okay, 2 years from now. 2 years. It's gonna be 20 years old in 2000. I could have sworn Kingdom Hearts came out in 2001. All right, so Kingdom Hearts came out in 2002. So yeah. Yeah. You were born for these sorts of games. Maybe, but honestly, and people try to sandbag Union Cross a lot for important lore being tied to a mobile gacha game, right? Important lore tied to this, and I'm like, bro, honestly, one, it's free. And then two, like, I enjoy it, and it's an ongoing ride. It really is an ongoing ride in which, thanks to something like this, Kingdom Hearts will truly never die. You know, thanks to something like this, you don't have to wait 4 or 5 years for the next super impending story update. You can learn secrets of the past and how it could set up the future in something like this. You know, it's important, but the thing is, it's not important in real time. It's important in setting up games, and that's why I appreciate it so much. And you know, like, it trickles down the lore and all that stuff, and I you know, I love it. I really do. But man, I can't wait for the dark road for it to be taken. I wanna get a show of hands. Who is ready to take that dark road? Because who's gonna take the dark road with me? When it comes to the 5th dimension, you have to never fear, be brave, dive deep, take the dark road into the 5th dimension. I'm ready. Here's the thing about drinking, right? When it comes to Blue Moon's really good, but man, if you guys drink and ever decide to have a Blue Moon, always drink with orange, and like an orange, like an orange slice. That shit brings out the drink so hard. Man. So I love the fact that we can have a game, that we can have games for free. Imagine paying to own Dark Road or Union Cross. No thanks. Right? A game that a free mode game that gives us lore constantly and allows us to understand and better appreciate the series on a like monthly, bi-monthly basis and whatnot. And it allows us to gain that story, and it helps us set up and look forward to the future of gaming when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. Because man, like the console games, they drop big things like Yozora, Vamrex. I'm like, bro, that insane, right? And of course, Union Cross became important enough to the point that the foretellers are going to be a big deal within the next saga, apparently, in the next saga of Kingdom Hearts, right? In which Sora is going to have to stand against the 7 Keyblade wielders that seem to be, like obviously the 6 of the 7 are, Ava, Envy, Aced, Ira, Gula, and Lushu, right? And then the 7th, the 7th symbol is the symbol on the Book of Prophecies, which I want to assume correlates with the Master of Masters. And for Sora to stand against them by himself, watch the One True Skies theory. Maybe he's not by himself. The One True Sky, right? It is a big deal enough for Union Cross to be important enough. And with Dark Road, I feel that's the thing. That's the one thing, like the biggest, wildest thing that I want to close this off on, is that Dark Road is being released in such a peculiar time. But I understand, because Scala Ad Caelum was a thing that I don't want to say originated, but got shown off in Kingdom Hearts 3. So obviously they couldn't really go to that world until it was revealed in Kingdom Hearts 3 first, right? So it's releasing such a peculiar time in which Xehanort got his ass beat. He's dead. He's gone, right? It's over. The Dark Secret Saga is over, and we're going to the new saga. After Xehanort got his ass beat, after Xehanort died, and after his saga is over, now we're going into his past, which is something that Nomura has always really wanted to do. Apparently, he wanted to do that in Kingdom Hearts 3, but he felt that that would have taken a giganto chunk. That would have taken a super chunk out of Kingdom Hearts 3, like a whole Xehanort section, which I would appreciate. But I mean, something to push development times is just yeah. And the thing about Dark Road is that for him to want to dive into the story now, after Kingdom Hearts 3, shows that not only is the past of Xehanort super important, that could tie into Union Cross and the future, and make us have a better understanding of the series, but that means that these characters, possibly Eraqus, Xehanort, Veor, Erd, Bragi, or Mod, could be extremely, excruciatingly important to the new saga of Kingdom Hearts. And then that's me dealing with the theories of them possibly appearing in some sort of ghost form, or maybe they're not dead, and then maybe Sora find them and they're really fucking old, because of course there's the theory and the lore that Veor is Kairi's grandmother. And that I feel that very much, that's something that is, what's the word I'm looking for? It holds water. It's something that is definitely plausible. I feel that Kairi's grandmother being Veor is plausible, given She kind of looks she looks cutesy, like she could be cutesy like Kari, right? And then her hair is blonde, and when she gets old, her hair goes from fair to gray and whatnot, and you know, her eyes loosen up. I don't know, it could be possible, because I mean, Kari's grandmother knew a little too much about the lore when it comes to the Keyblade War, the reset of the world, all that good jazz. And Kari, the biggest thing, Kari says in Kingdom Hearts 2, they all share the same sky. There is one sky, one destiny. Kari says that in Kingdom Hearts 2. And then Xehanort says that in the final battle of Kingdom Hearts 3. When he said, there is one sky, one destiny. I'm like, when I heard him say that, I'm like, what? What did you just say? One sky, one destiny. I'm like, so when we put the building blocks of life together, I want to go ahead and say and assume that Kari learned that phrase through her grandmother. The same person who told her about the Keyblade War, the ownership of light, the destruction of the world, the rebuild, you know, how the worlds got rebuilt. And I want to assume that phrase was, you know, given to Kari's grandmother. And the way that she knew the phrase is because obviously she trained with Xehanort, who also learned this phrase. Like there is a connection between Kari's grandmother and Xehanort. And I feel that this connection will finally be shown off in Union Cross, right? And if Kari's grandmother is not there, then Kari's grandmother could be another character that gets introduced in Union Cross. Really could, you know? Man, I love Kingdom Hearts. My brain is cooking. My brain is cooking. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I feel the most messed up thing at the end of the day of all of this, of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, Kingdom Hearts Zero Mind, Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Dark Road, Young Xehanort, all that good jazz. The most messed up thing about this is that bro, where does Vamrex and Yozora fit in all this mess? Just where? Where does Yozora fit in all of this? Because Yozora really does throw a gigantic wrench. Because, like, with Union Cross, Dark Road, Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, Lushu, the new chess match, all of that, it seems to go in one direction. It really seems to go in one definite direction. Yet, Vamrex and Yozora being in Kingdom Hearts goes in a completely other direction. And I'm like, bro, where is this ride going? Right? But knowing Nomura, knowing Tetsuya Nomura, you know, say what you will, he's gonna make it work. He's gonna make it work, and he not only is he gonna make it work, he's gonna work it. He's gonna make it work, and he's gonna work it while making it work. You gotta believe. Tetsuya Nomura, man. I'm really excited. I'm stupid excited, especially of the deep dive lore we just went into when it comes to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, the names of the characters, everything. I'm dummy excited. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really super enjoyed this expansive episode of the Fifth Dimension. And we're gonna go live again next week, Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But before we go, I would just like to say that the Twitch team known as the Fifth Dimension the Twitch team known as the Fifth Dimension is currently at 25 members. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And all these content creators that have entered the Fifth Dimension are great content creators, and I want to go ahead and raid a very awesome aspiring content creator that I feel deserves a lot more. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and raid, give me a second, another member of the Fifth Dimension, Jashish. Alright, Jashish is currently just chatting, but Jashish deals a lot with Kingdom Hearts content, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Jashish's setup is super wild, super clean. Let's go check out his channel and just go there and yell the Fifth Dimension. And are you ready for a dark road? Let's get it. We're gonna start that raid. Let's go out and give him a huge Fifth Dimension welcome. So once again, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road news is coming up every day going forward, and we're gonna have another episode of the Fifth Dimension next week Friday, and this episode is going up live tomorrow Saturday. So guys, until the next episode of the Fifth Dimension, this has been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.